Hi, Brother Denny here. Um, I have another testimony I'd like to share with you. I always say, I have seen God at His best. Um, there was a time in the ministry, I was doing some things at a nursing home, and where I would go and do a singing, and you know, speak in between, and then I'd do another song, and then I'd speak in between, I'd do another song, like that. And there was a couple fellows in there, preachers, pastors actually, and they'd sit right there next to me. When I would say anything, I'd be honest with you, I was a little, how do you say it? A little worried I'd say the wrong thing. Is that a good way to say it? So anyway, it was Paul and Buddy, and these guys had 100 years between them in the ministry. And Paul, he would start churches. I mean, I don't want to mention what denomination he was in, but he would start churches. When the churches would start a new church, they would send him, and he would start them, get them going, and everything, and then they'd move him on to another church, and he used to have plaques in his room where he had started these churches. They give him certificates and awards and what have you. So, anyways, we become really good friends, and there was a time when Paul got pretty sick, and I just noticed he, you know, just seemed like, as we all do, seemed like we slow down a little bit when we get older, you know. And but I got a phone call from the lady over there. Her name's Beth, and she called me and she said that Paul was he was pretty sick, you know, and I said, okay. And she said, I didn't know if you wanted to stop by or something. I said, well, yeah, you know. And I said, well, how sick is he? She said, he's really sick. And I said, well, I just kind of, how really sick? And she said, well, Denny said he's going to probably die. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I'll be there. So I got ready and started over. And as the time when I was getting ready and as I was driving over, I kept thinking, you know, Lord, just I'd like to say something to him. Something I'd like to told him. And you know how it is. You always got something you want to say to somebody. And I said, Lord, just keep him alive that long, you know. And because I know if they called me that it was real close. And so I went in, and when I got there, his Beth met me, and we went in there together, and she introduced me to his wife. I'd never met her, and his daughter, and they said his son was on his way from Tennessee, and so I knew, you know, when the whole family's there, it's real close, and they had a hospice nurse in there and in the room, and we went in, and I talked to them a little bit, you know, and told them what he meant to me, you know, and what have you. And I said, I'd like to talk to him. And of course the hospice nurse said, you know, well, we believe they can hear you, you know, even they're in the, I don't know what you call it, comatose state. And I've been around it enough that I've seen, you know, when hospice is involved, you know, it's real close. And so anyways, his wife got up, and there was a chair there upside the bed, and I sat down in the chair, you know, and I just watched him for a little bit there, and I decided, well, I want to talk to him. So I just kind of leaned over, I should say. I leaned over to his bed, and I thought, you know, he probably, I don't know if he hear me or not, but so I got real close to him, like right next to his face, and I said, hey, Brother Paul, or I think I called him Pastor. I said, hey, Pastor Paul. I said, this is Brother Denny. I said, I'd like to talk to you, and of course, nothing, you know, and I said, I just want to tell you something, because I had something I wanted to tell him. And I said, I don't know if you know it or not, but I said, you're my mentor. And that's all I said, and just like that, he opened his eyes. And he turned his face and looked at me, and he said, I am. I said, yes, you are. I said, I said, you keep me in line. I said, yeah. I said, I have learned so much from you and the time I've known you. And Beth was at the behind, and she was like, and the hospice nurse, and of course his family, And Beth goes, he's awake. I mean, he ain't been awake for a couple of days. the hospice nurse said, well, are you hungry? And he said, well, yeah. She said, well, so another nurse came in and said, get him a yogurt. So they got a yogurt and brought it in and started feeding him. And of course his daughter, she was just crying. She was just in tears, and his wife. And so we talked a little bit, and we went out in the hallway, and his wife went out and she sat down in a chair out there because they wanted to, like I said, he hadn't been awake, and I suppose they want to clean up a little bit, I don't know, okay. And so we went out in the hallway. They asked us if we would step out, so we did. His wife sat there, and she was just like in a staring out, just in like a daze. And so I stopped her in front of her. She looked up at me, and I said, I really think a lot of your husband. I really do. And she said, she looked at me, and she said, my husband got a miracle, didn't he? And I said, yeah, I believe he did. I said, your husband has probably prayed more prayers than I couldn't tell you. I said, for many, many, many people. And I said, how many miracles you think he prayed for? I said, in his ministry. And she said, oh, oh, I couldn't tell you. And I said, isn't that awesome? I said, when God gives him one. I said, yes, I do believe your husband got a miracle. And she was just in tears, and she's telling me how she had to call her son because he still hadn't got there from Tennessee. And he was on his way, and how they'd called the whole family in. And I was, the next Sunday, of course, there he sat, and with us again on a Sunday morning. And of course, we were sharing it with everybody there, that it's not over until God says it's over. And as I like to tell people, I have seen God at his best. This was awesome of what God had done in that situation. So in that, I would like to say, may God bless you and have a blessed day.